Now, there's been talk across the NFL circles and across the media and everywhere that Russell Wilson might want out because of him being discontent with what's going on with Pete Carroll and his son. There was talk that possibly it has something to do with the fact that, they haven't been back to the Super Bowl since 2014. They have been lackluster in the playoffs in recent memory. They have not been able to recapture essentially the magic that they had back in the day. And I can tell you honestly, from the outside looking in, this seems to me like something that seemed impossible almost just 5 years ago. Because look at where the Seahawks were in 2012, 2013, 2014. 2012, Russell Wilson's rookie year, he comes in as a third-round pick. He comes in, wins like 12 or 11 games, takes them to the playoffs, has them within an inch of winning a playoff game in his rookie year as a third-round pick, as a quarterback who everyone said was undersized. And he comes in and wins. Next year, what does that team do along with that stout defense? They go and win a Super Bowl. The next year, in 2013, they dominate the league. They absolutely dominate the NFL. And they end up losing on a very controversial call in the Super Bowl on the last play of the game. We all remember it. Wilson at the 1-yard line doesn't hand it off to Marshawn Lynch. Instead, he throws it. It's intercepted by Malcolm Butler, and the Seahawks lose. Patriots win that Super Bowl. Ever since then, we've seen the dynasty that many were talking about, including myself. We all thought it was going to be a dynasty. They had players locked up under very good contracts. They had young players like Russell Wilson, a very cheap quarterback for the first 5 years of his career, as a third-round pick especially. They had him locked up. And out of that, they got 2 Super Bowl appearances and 1 Super Bowl win. Now, granted, no team's going to win the Super Bowl every year. I get that. But at the same time, you're supposed to be putting yourself in the position to do that, especially when you have the roster they had. They had the most dominant defense of the 2010s, the most dominant defense of the entire decade. And slowly, year after year, it got ripped away. Brandon Browner left. They had Cam Chancellor, unfortunately, have to retire. They had problems with Earl Thomas, obviously, and he had problems with Pete Carroll as well. And Pete Carroll seems to be at the center of this because, like I said earlier, a lot of this reportedly is stemming from Russell Wilson being unhappy with the way that Pete Carroll and his son, who's on the coaching staff, are managing the team. And he's essentially saying that they are accountable to nobody. But the rest of the players, the rest of the athletes, the rest of the team has to be held to account. So it's an unfair kind of thing. The blame is being shifted to the players, and maybe Pete Carroll from the front office is not getting the amount of blame he should get. Because let's be honest here. Pete Carroll did a great job with this team. He did a great job when he came in. He did a fantastic job in his first head coach. They went 7-9, but they won a playoff game. And they were in the hunt. But still, he underperformed. As a head coach with the talent that he had, he wasn't able to keep it together. And why is that? Why is it that when Earl Thomas leaves to go to Baltimore and Earl Thomas gets carted off the field, he's flipping him off? Why is that? Why is it that when Earl Thomas goes to Baltimore, he's still talking mad crap about Pete Carroll? Why is it the former players like Richard Sherman felt like their time was up and they had to move on? Answer is simple. Answer is very simple, and it's that Pete Carroll just couldn't keep the team together. And if they lose Russell Wilson, you might as well rebuild and start over with this team. This team, they have DK Metcalf, but outside of that, they don't have a running back. Their offensive line is garbage. That defense is not what it used to be. You lose Russell Wilson, you lose the franchise. You lose the fans. You're back to being the lime green joke of the league. Now, there have been some reports about Russell Wilson possibly leaving or possibly not. I'm going to read one report that says why he might not leave, but kind of highlights the tensions that are there in the organization currently. Quote, I can confidently tell you that no, he does not. He being Russell Wilson, he does not want out of Seattle. Now I can tell you that confidently here in 2021 that is the goal. Meaning now in 2021 the goal is to stay with the Seahawks. That means it doesn't necessarily spread across or past 2021. The goal is to be in Seattle, play in Seattle forever, retire as a Seahawk. But I think the days you see, and as you open up this conversation of Russell Wilson sitting back and being the poster child for your franchise quarterback and not saying anything, I think is done. I think Russell Wilson is tired of sitting back and hoping for change and is wanting to see change. So this is something that fans have been talking about for a while. The Seattle Seahawks seemingly have let a lot of their best players over the past decade just leave. And they've kind of relied or overly relied on Russell Wilson a little too much. They've relied on him being there. They've relied on him, carrying the franchise for everybody. But the thing is, you can't rely on one player. It's not sustainable. It's not how you should run a franchise. Look at the Colts. Before Ballard came in, look at the Colts. They relied on Peyton Manning entirely. Peyton Manning wasn't there for 1 year. They go 2-14 out of the playoffs, number 1 pick. Draft Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck comes in, and cycle starts again. They depend on him. They overly depend on him. He is the only thing holding the team together. He gets injured. Team falls apart. He gets injured again. Team falls apart. He gets injured again, comes back, and the team is actually put together well, but by that time, he's done with football. Russell Wilson is one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league. I'm not saying that he's in the same position as Andrew Luck was. Russell Wilson has started every game since he came in the league. But it only takes a second for that injury bug to hit you. It only takes one play, one time, for that thought to be lingering in your head. Is this team setting me up for success? And the offensive line that Seattle's put together is not setting Russell Wilson up for success. The defense that they've trotted out there, it's not setting him up for success. And quite frankly, Pete Carroll himself didn't set up Russell Wilson for success, because if he was, and if he cared about the team, he wouldn't have put Russell Wilson in a position to throw the ball at the 1-yard line in that Super Bowl. That's just the facts. Keep it real on here. Thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.